they take well, I felt like the victory I always wanted was, against an elite fighter, somebody that, I thought would give me my respect in boxing. Yeah, I had the antics. Yeah, I was drinking. Yeah, I was doing all that. But one thing I don't do is take steroids, you
Right.
know? And I know in my heart they set me up in that way.
Ryan Garcia admits to drinking before his fight against Devin Haney, calling it part of a self-destructive spiral he's now fighting to overcome.
I'm talking about when you talked about I drank and smoked during that week when I.
Yeah, I do. But again, those were things that I was already dealing with.
Right.
I was already dealing with drinking problems and shit like that. And
There have been highs and lows in Ryan Garcia's professional wrestling career, including a pivotal matchup with Devin Haney last year. Even though Garcia repeatedly knocked Haney down and won the fight, the aftermath was chaotic because Garcia tested positive for the illegal stimulant Ostarine, which cost him the victory. Garcia then descended further into the pre-fight personal turmoil that had been accumulating.
his little brother's posting, oh, he's gonna test positive for steroids. How know that I'm gonna test positive?
Before the news came
Before
out.
anybody's news come out. And then all of a sudden he's on, then it gets announced, and the next day Devin Haney's on SportsCenter, talking about her. So it's like, it feels like I was set up, and it did a number on me. I became very angry. I guess in a sense I'm still angry in a way.
Garcia's drinking increased as a result of personal upheaval, including a divorce and mental health problems. Drinking became a regular habit as a result of the fight's controversy, leading to a more reckless lifestyle. Garcia was taken into custody in June after damaging a suite at the Beverly Hills Waldorf Astoria Hotel. After Garcia agreed to pay $15,000 in compensation, the misdemeanor charges that resulted from the incident, which caused extensive damage, were dropped. His life appeared to go out of hand.
I was going through a divorce. I was going through a bunch of things that were going on in my life that it was hard for me to cope with. And I fucked up in that regard. I decided to take a bunch of shrooms, and something I was doing already, but this time I took too many. And I kind of just lost it, bro. I can't really say anything else. I mean,
They were saying that you trashed the room.
oh yeah. I mean, I ended up breaking everything in the room. I really don't remember, bro. I was drunk and fucked up to the
But to his point, who were you with that day?
same people you
Same
always
people.
see me with.
That night, he had taken an excessive amount of psychedelic mushrooms on top of heavy drinking, which left him in a state he barely remembers. By then, his behavior had become erratic, and the people closest to him, including his parents, were desperately trying to intervene. However, he refused to listen, consumed by the lifestyle he had created for himself. He later admitted that his addiction wasn't just to alcohol, but to gambling, women, and an overall reckless pursuit of pleasure that was destroying him from the inside out.
I was drinking every day, every single day.
I feel like the people around you
Even the day of the fight. I just got so involved in just trying to cope with whatever was going on inside, and like I said, I've been struggling mentally for years, and it just wouldn't stop for me. So I like I said, that's how I cope with that.
What was the turning point?
Turning point is to realize, like, damn, bro, I'm fucking my life up, and getting arrested was a big part of it. Almost losing my kids was a huge part of it.
The realization of how far he had fallen came when he faced the possibility of losing access to his children. That fear, along with his arrest, forced him to confront the damage he had done to his life. He finally understood that his problems couldn't be ignored any longer, and that change was necessary if he wanted to avoid becoming another tragic story of wasted potential. Though many speculated that the people around him had contributed to his downfall, Garcia refused to place blame on anyone but himself. He acknowledged that every decision he made was his own, and that he had to take full responsibility for the consequences. Now, as he works to rebuild his life and career, he remains aware that staying on the right path is a daily battle.
I take responsibility.
The blame is on you.
Yeah, the blame is definitely on
But
me.
if you put yourself in an environment that, that everybody's condoning it by not saying anything.
Right. I mean, and then if you see it from that perspective, for sure, wasn't around the right people. But again, at that time, nothing was gonna get to me, bro. I swear. I was in a whole different universe, to be honest.
Did you think you would never come back?
Oh, 100%. I didn't think I'm surprised I'm here right now.
With his 1-year suspension nearing its end, Garcia is ready to face Rolly Romero on May 2nd. But attention has turned to the possibility of a rematch with Devin Haney already. Despite the dramatic nature of their first fight, many in the boxing world, including former champion Shawn Porter, believe that Haney would come out on top in a second meeting. Porter dismissed the idea that Garcia has Haney's number, emphasizing that their first encounter was just one fight and not a definitive statement on their abilities. He argued that Haney, when fully focused, is simply the superior boxer and would prove it in a rematch. He said, "I get annoyed. I've actually heard a couple people say Ryan's got Devin's number, and I'm like, how? How does that come out of your mouth? He has Devin's number? He doesn't. That was one fight, one time, big moment." Porter believes that Haney has the skill set to adjust and dominate if they fight again. He sees Haney as the more technically sound boxer, capable of staying disciplined and making the necessary changes to avoid the mistakes that cost him in the first fight. With Garcia's past struggles and time away from the ring, some question whether he would even be in the right mental and physical condition to replicate his previous performance. He further added, "We know what was involved, but I truly believe that Devin Haney beats Ryan Garcia in the rematch. I truly think that Devin is the better boxer. I think that Devin, when focused and firing on all cylinders, is just a better boxer than Ryan Garcia." Moreover, Devin Haney's father and trainer, Bill Haney, has recently expressed his frustrations with how the media and promoters have been handling his son's career. Bill believes that his son, the undisputed lightweight champion, has often been portrayed unfairly by certain individuals in the boxing world, particularly when it comes to the perception of Devin's abilities. Bill is particularly vocal about the criticism Devin has received regarding his chin, especially after his tough fight with Ryan Garcia. According to Bill, these doubts about his son's resilience are unwarranted. He dismisses the idea that Devin's ability to take a punch is in question, emphasizing instead his son's focus, mental strength, and growth as a fighter.
Press conference that Todd Grissom was one-sided and he didn't describe Devin the way that he was supposed to describe him as the youngest undisputed champion and with the legacy, #9 on the pound-for-pound list, with not only just, he has a granite chin. Have you seen anyone get up from a Ryan Garcia left hook 3 times off the canvas? And that Todd Grissom had to ask about his chin, question his chin. He was everything wrong at the press conference. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to not get the voice that's really going to tell the real in Devin's corner. They want to separate it and they want to try to destroy the brand, and it's not going to work. May 2nd, Devin is going to put belt to ass to Jose Ramirez, and I guarantee you that.
For Bill, Devin's upcoming fight against Jose Ramirez isn't just another challenge. It's an opportunity to silence the doubters once and for all, and to show the world that Devin's skill and growth have taken him to the next level. Despite all the noise surrounding the fight and the criticisms being thrown at him, Bill is confident that his son will shine. He believes that Devin's work behind the scenes will be apparent when the fight takes place, and he fully expects Devin to outclass Ramirez. In his mind, this bout is about proving Devin's true potential and cementing his place as one of the top fighters in the world.
You don't become the youngest undisputed champion in boxing without saying focus. He's been focused. It took some while, it took a little bit of time to clean up the division. That he did. Moving up to 140 was just a pit stop. We're on our way to 147. You're gonna see a stronger, faster, more determined Devin Haney.
Oscar De La Hoya weighed in on Devin Haney's decision to face Jose Ramirez rather than immediately pursue a rematch with Garcia. De La Hoya sees it as a smart move from a promotional perspective. He pointed out that in boxing, it is rare for a fighter to jump straight back into a rematch after suffering a knockout. Most fighters take an interim fight to rebuild their confidence and assess their condition. De La Hoya explained that by choosing to fight a seasoned and tough opponent like Ramirez, Haney is testing himself, ensuring that he's mentally and physically ready for the challenge of a potential rematch with Garcia. Oscar said, "Devin Haney doesn't want to come back against Ryan Garcia after getting knocked out. It's just not in the manual book of promoting fights, or, it's not in the fighter's manual book where after you get knocked out, you fight the same guy again. Like, you have to have an in-between fight to get your confidence back. For Devin to make sure that he's okay, because what if Ramirez pops him with a shot and he wobbles and he gets knocked out? That can happen. So I think that Devin wanted to test the waters against Ramirez." De La Hoya also spoke about Garcia's importance in boxing boxing, particularly after his suspension for testing positive for a banned substance. Despite the controversies, De La Hoya is confident in Garcia's ability to return to prominence. He views Garcia as a major figure in the sport, and his upcoming fight with Rolly Romero is seen as an important step in revitalizing Garcia's career. De La Hoya believes the match will energize the boxing world, signaling a fresh chapter for Garcia and bringing excitement to the sport's fan base.
And I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him because, you know, it's not easy being a champion, not easy being a fighter at this caliber, carrying the sport of boxing on his back. It's a lot of pressure. So the fact that Ryan Garcia's back, he's subdued a bit, but I like that because, man, once he comes out May 2nd, whew, we're gonna see a beast.
As the rematch talk swirls, both fighters seem to be overshadowing their upcoming opponents in favor of focusing on each other. Jose Ramirez, the man standing in Devin Haney's way, is getting far less attention than their potential showdown. Robert Garcia believes that, regardless of what happens in Haney's upcoming bout, a rematch between Garcia and Haney is inevitable. Garcia's stance is clear: the controversy surrounding their first fight must be addressed, and a rematch is necessary to settle the score once and for all. The buzz surrounding Devin Haney's return is palpable. The boxing world is eager to see how he performs after a period of intense scrutiny.
The rematch could still happen. You know, it's a fight that brought in so much controversy that even if Haney was to lose, there's no reason why the rematch can't happen. You know, Jose's gonna go out there, do whatever it takes to win. I'm gonna train him. We're already training very hard. He's already motivated. That's the only thing in his mind is to go out there and win. And if that is to happen, when that happens and we're able to do it, it's still a fight that people want to see.
Claressa Shields has expressed her confidence in Haney, believing that his return will be a pivotal moment for his career. Shields lauded Haney's fighting style, calling him one of the best in the sport. She is convinced that Haney will rise above the outside noise and prove his greatness once again.
Oh, I didn't see anything. I just got here the last minute, but I'm happy that Devin Haney is getting back into the ring after everything he went through. I'm happy to see him back in the ring, and I think he's still a great fighter, and I want to see more of him.
In her view, Haney's detractors simply hate him because of his talent, and she fully supports him in whatever challenge lies ahead. She believes Haney's determination and mental strength will help him overcome any obstacles, and that he is more than capable of proving himself in the ring, regardless of past controversies. For Shields, Haney is a fighter made for these kinds of moments, and she has no doubt that he will rise to the occasion.
It wasn't accused. That was that happened. But hey, it's a social media world, and everybody has have their opinions. But Devin Haney is hated not only because of how great he is, but because of his dad. So it's a fight we all got to deal with when you got skills. But I think Devin Haney he's made for it.
As the rematch talk intensifies, boxing fans and experts alike are turning their attention to the upcoming fight between Garcia and Romero, which will play a pivotal role in Haney and Garcia's future. Andrew Tate, known for his bold opinions, has shared his thoughts on Garcia's fighting style. He commended Garcia for his fearlessness and his willingness to speak his mind. Tate also praised Garcia's left hook, noting that it is one of his most dangerous weapons in the ring. However, there are concerns about the lack of suspense surrounding this fight. Many fans believe that Garcia is the clear favorite and that the fight might not live up to expectations because the outcome seems predictable.
All right, yeah. Which fight are you looking forward to the most? Well, I think the main event's the main event, right?
You love Ryan Garcia. He told me you're coming today. What do you tell Ryan?
Nah, Ryan's amazing. Ryan's a great guy. He's amazing. I like that he stands up for himself. He's not afraid to say what he thinks. And he's got a pretty fast left hook also, so I really much...
Regis Prograis weighed in on the Garcia-Romero matchup. Although he agreed that Garcia was the favorite, he pointed out that the fight is far from predictable. Both Garcia and Romero are unorthodox fighters, and their aggressive, wild fighting styles make it difficult to predict what will happen. Prograis recalled sparring footage in which Romero dominated Garcia, suggesting that Romero's unpredictable style could pose a challenge. He stated, "Rolly and Ryan, I saw the sparring footage. I think that's actually not a predictable fight because both of them are so wild, and both can land punches." Trainer Abel Sanchez also weighed in on the Garcia Garcia-Romero fight, offering a more technical breakdown. He highlighted Garcia's physical advantages, his size, speed, and punching power, as factors that would likely overwhelm Romero. Sanchez believes Garcia's combination of physical attributes and refined technique would lead to a decisive victory, potentially in the early rounds. However, he also expressed doubt about Romero's ability to keep up, suggesting that his style has not evolved significantly over the years, putting him at a disadvantage against a more polished fighter like Garcia.
When it comes to time to decisions.
Turning the page now, Abel. 3 fights got announced in New York. Actually 4 with the press conference happening today. But those 3 fights, Ryan versus Rolly, Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza, and Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, who changed his, he has a nickname now. I didn't know Jose Ramirez had a nickname. Do you know, Abel? He goes by El Jaguar. I had no idea. I've never heard of it either. But
Gervonta Tank Davis, a fighter who has faced both Garcia and Romero, offered his perspective on the fight. Although Davis didn't make a definitive prediction, he acknowledged that an upset was possible. He suggested that Romero's unpredictability could be a factor, but he focused more on the entertainment value of the fight. Davis expects an exciting bout regardless of who wins.
Can Rolly pull off an upset against Ryan?
Can Rolly pull off an upset?
Yeah, do you think
I don't want to say that's crazy, but yeah, hopefully, bro. Hopefully for the sake of Rolly, he pull it off. But it's gonna be a good fight. No, you think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out.
Who hit a little harder though? Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both clearly.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard.
Yeah.
People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously. I don't know how to say it. Obviously.
Teofimo Lopez sided with Garcia but cautioned that Romero's power should not be underestimated. Lopez noted that Garcia is highly motivated for this fight, which could be a key factor in his performance. However, he also warned that one well-placed punch from Romero could change the course of the fight completely.
I think right now they're probably going to announce a lot of fights to be finalized. That's my opinion on that. However, I think that it's a great matchup. I think it's a good storyline for Rolly as well. And I think they're going to fight at 47.
Yeah. Rolly's a big dude. Obviously, he has that power. Ryan has that right hook.
Yep.
So, who do you got?
I got Ryan. I got Ryan Garcia.
Why?
Yeah. I just think that from that fight and since then, he hasn't been fighting for that long of a period and then being stopped the way he was. I think he might be changing trainers, or he might still be with Salas, but even then, but I think it's gonna be a great matchup. I think Ryan needs to be careful with Rolly's punching power, because Rolly still got power, man, and definitely could do something to Ryan with those shots.
Eddie Hearn offered a straightforward assessment of the fight. He acknowledged Romero's charisma, but firmly believed that Garcia would win comfortably. Hearn did not foresee any major challenges for Garcia, implying that the fight would be relatively one-sided in his favor.
That younger generation, Ryan Garcia, huge name. Devin Haney, huge name. Teofimo Lopez, huge name. And do you know what? What I like about it as well, they're all in real fights. You know, I think, I love Rolly. I think he's a great character, but I think Ryan will deal with him well.
Finally, George Kambosos added his thoughts on the matchup. While he acknowledged that Romero was in strong physical shape, he questioned whether that would be enough to give him a real chance against Garcia. Kambosos believed that Garcia's power would ultimately be too much for Romero to handle. He did, however, note that if Romero had made significant improvements as a fighter, it could give him a slight advantage. But overall, Kambosos leaned toward a Garcia victory.
Garcia, Rolly, as much as I've had my shit back and forth with Ryan, it'll be an interesting fight. Not style-wise, I think Ryan will probably knock him out. I think the lead-up is going to be fun. Rolly's, he loves to talk. He's not very smart. His IQ's not very smart, so I think it's going to be a funny lead-up, and we'll see in the fight. But again, they got history sparring. That always brings confidence. You see the sparring, Rolly looked good in the sparring sessions that they put out there. You don't know, that there, you might have an edge on him somewhere, so we'll see.
As Garcia prepares for his return, the biggest question remains whether he has truly turned a corner. He acknowledges the challenges he faces and knows that his battle with addiction and self-destructive tendencies isn't over. But with the lessons he's learned and a renewed focus on his career, he is determined to move forward. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.